All right, all right, all right. Will they divide the nation with their reparation fixation? Or will California subscribe to a race-based bribe? California's reparations task force has voted yes on multiple proposals that will now go to state lawmakers to consider legislation. Among other handouts, the task force wants to pay $360,000 each to approximately 1.8 million black Californians who had an ancestor enslaved in the U.S. Considering how easy California was defrauded during COVID, I'll be expecting a check. So that alone would cost at least $640 billion. It would take the average Californian 6 months to shoplift that much. And it's over twice the state's budget. Hell, with that kind of money, you could build 5 new Kardashians. Governor Gassam, that's a good name, Gassam. Gavin Newsom's been strangely silent on the issue, probably because he knows the moment he signs it, his ambitions for the White House are as dead as a Golden Girls reunion. But why should, think about it. But why should California monopolize idiocy? Denver Councilwoman Candy Sidabaka is proposing an idea to fund reparations, just tax white-owned businesses disproportionately. After all, wasn't capitalism built on stolen land, stolen labor, and stolen resources?
Capitalism was built on stolen land, stolen labor, and stolen resources. And there are structures that we have that could be flipped to begin to do that reparations. Instead of a bid collecting extra taxation from the black and brown businesses that are struggling, you could be collecting those extra taxes from white-led businesses all over the city and redistributing them to black and brown-owned businesses.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Don't we do that already, though? I'm pretty sure the millions I pay in taxes are not going to things that I actually use, like super yachts, gold-plated toilet seats, and, of course, kidnapping insurance. Anyway, I feel bad for her. She hates America more than Hunter Biden hates Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. All right, Kat. Imagine you're living in California. You didn't have any slaves. Your family came from Poland, I think, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Both of those are true.
Like, wouldn't it be in your right to sue the state for basically theft?
Well, yeah, this is never going to actually happen, and they know that. Which is, it would cost like 2.5 times the annual budget is the estimate, and the legality of it is obviously probably not going to be allowed. So it's a great way for politicians to say, okay, this sounds great. It's like when a friend's like, oh, I would help you bury a body. It's like, okay, you know that I'm never going to ask you to do that, but can you pick up my cat from the vet? And then they're like, well, no, I wouldn't do that. So it's really easy to try to be like, look how much I care that I will offer this really, really awesome, intense, huge thing to you, but really you're offering nothing because it is so intense that it'll never actually happen.
Yeah, Jay, what do you think of this? If you were living in California in this past, would you move? I could not stay there.
No, I'd open a pizza shop called Black Owned Pizza. You name it whatever you want. This is such a radical idea that I'm concerned it's like one racist doing the thing. You ever see a thing where they tell people they've won free Yankees tickets and they just get them all to come to a warehouse?
Yes.
And arrest them for like child support payments or something? Just one lunatic's trying to get all the black people to migrate to California, and then something crazy's going to happen?
You're right.
It's a wild thing. He goes, come here, we'll give you $1 billion. Sorry.
Yes. It's a trap.
I'd go.
Yes, I would too. I don't think it's going to happen. What do you think, Jamie?
This is so crazy. I won tickets to the NBA playoffs. I'm not going to pick them up.
Not at that warehouse.
Yes, if it's at a warehouse. You know what, and whatever you do when you walk in there, don't have like a six-pack of Mike's hard lemonade.
Right?
Pre-game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know what we actually tried this in Alaska, but it didn't cost that much money because there was only one black guy. When it comes to numbers like this, I don't understand. Like, yeah. I also was confused because it's like, whatever the numbers are, like they're going to pay $200 billion and the budget is like $100 billion. Mm-hmm. Isn't that not, you don't get what a budget is?
Yes.
Because it's twice as much of it. I just can't even wrap my head around billions and millions of like that. I tried to figure it out in terms that I would understand, and I was like, $200 billion. That would be like if I'd have to do 200 billion gigs. That's like a load of money.
Yeah, that's sad, Jamie.
Yeah.
You know, Harold, we talked about this on the 5, right? Remember that? Good times, huh? We shared a lot.
We have to tell everything.
Yeah. But I did bring up the point that you are biracial. So this is like half of your body wants the money, but the other half doesn't, right? It's just like there's like this internal battle.
I'll convince the other half to keep it. I'll convince the other half to keep it. This is things like this happen. And I give Greg a lot of credit. We had a conversation about this on the show several weeks back, and we talked about what should be done. Because if we can't agree that there was a wrong that was done, and in fact, people back when the wrong was done agreed, and they proposed to give black people, black families 40 acres and a mule. They then reneged on that. So there was an admission that there was a wrong. Now, this answer, to your point, the point's been made, is absolutely ludicrous. I want in your black-owned pizza deal if you decide to open one up. But this is not going to work. This is not going to happen for the reasons that have been said and the fact that it's twice the size of the budget. So why besmirch and belittle the bigness of the issue by dumb remedies? What we should be thinking about are ways in which we can pay this going forward, whether it's seriously thinking about how you educate kids and holding those schools accountable in these neighborhoods where kids are not learning. Seriously providing tax incentives for companies to come in and invest and hire people in those communities. Rich kids get tutored, poor kids should get educated and tutored as well. These are the things, including making broadband accessible in all these communities, where oftentimes you go through some of these neighborhoods and your phones don't work. They don't work as well as they do in other neighborhoods.
I know.
These are the kinds of
things. Drugs.
These are the kinds of things we should be thinking about, as opposed to nonsensical ideas that won't work. I'm happy to come to Alaska and double that population if you guys do decide to do something differently. But it's nonsense to talk about this. And again, it makes the issue, it distorts the importance of the issue.
But what? Okay, we got to go. But I got to say, all of the things that you mentioned make sense. But they never happen. It's usually the white progressive that doesn't like it, right? It's like if you want to go into a community, then they call that. What do they call that? What's the word? Where you try to
gentrification.
Yeah. And then if you leave, it's called white flight. So you can't win no matter what. And then they call them food deserts. But then when the places move in and they get shoplifted and they leave, then you have a food desert again. It's like I wish that.
Then we had to do the things that keep them there. If it's more police, if it's more teachers, you pay teachers more to look.
But then the white left will say defund the police.
Well, then we should move them out of the conversation. We have great things going on in this city. A school called Success Academy, and you have a lot of people in my party who are to the left of me who don't like some of the things they're doing. The kids are learning at a rate better and faster than they are in the best private schools in the city. That's what we ought to be replicating.
Yeah, I would pay for that. Well, I'm saying that figuratively.
I still want to go to Alaska.
You're not getting near my money. Nobody. Up next, RFK Jr. on the CIA plot. The day Kennedy was shot.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.